Hi friends, very recently I was reading this news that Justin Bieber may sue his business manager for mismanaging $300 million. And this brings to me a very important point that earning money is one thing, but looking after your money, growing your money and not losing your money is equally important. And people who understand latest trends in the capital market, primary market, secondary market, they are likely to do much better with their wealth. And hence I am starting this new monthly series of latest trends that I want to bring to you so that retail people like you and me understand the latest happenings in the stock market, in the mutual funds, in the IPOs, in the NFOs. There is a lot of information that I am going to bring into these monthly series. And if you like this type of content, the only request I have for you is that hit the like button. Let me know in the comments a simple thank you. It will motivate me to do a lot of research for you at zero cost. And also after watching this video, if you feel that these monthly videos are good for you, and if you want me to create weekly series, I'll be happy to consider your suggestions. With that, shall we get this video cracking? Let's go. Let me start with the first big update that in the month of October, Sensex fell by close to 6%. To be precise, 5.80%. Now this 6% seemed a very big deal, right? Everybody was talking about, oh, markets are correcting because there is a context to it. If you look at the last 4 years, we will note that October 2024 will be remembered because after COVID, so March 20 and Feb 20, this was the biggest fall in one single month. So in March 2020, we had 23% fall, and in February 2020, we had 6% fall. After that, October 2024 has been the month where Sensex fell the most. Almost 6% fall is what we saw in the month of October 2024. Now the reason I'm bringing this point up is because there are many new investors in the stock market, and when you see the portfolio coming down, there is likely to be some panic. And all I want to say to them is that if you are investing in stock market, please understand that stock market does not just go up, it comes down. There is up and down. There is always a volatility. So you need to be okay with volatility. Please understand a loss is not a loss until you book it. Recently, I created this video for you, portfolio down. If your portfolio is still down, go and watch that video. You're going to learn a lot about how to deal with such situations. Now, the last point that I want to make here is that in the month of October 2024, we lost almost 29 lakhs crore worth of market capitalization. If you see the past few months, the market cap has been going up, but all of a sudden in the month of October 24, we had lost 29 lakhs crores of market cap. The second mega trend we saw in the month of October 2024 is the FI selling. Have a look at my screen and you will see that in the month of October, FIs sold 1,14,000 crore worth of equities. I can't remember a month where this heavy selling would have been done by FIs. So this definitely was one mega trend that I wanted to speak about. And if you look at the DIs buying, so your pension funds, your mutual funds, banks, etc., bought almost 1,07,000 crores worth of equities in Indian stock market. Now just imagine if the DIs did not do this heavy buying. In my view, the Indian stock market would have fallen even more. I don't know how much by exactly, but it would have been maybe 10%, 12%, 15%. Just because the DIs did the heavy buying, the Indian stock market only fell by close to 6%. That's what we saw. Now, I don't know whether this trend will continue or not, but in the last 4 years, FIs have been the net seller in the Indian stock market. Now, more interesting data that we need to look at is which sectors actually FIs did the buying or selling. So here is the data in front of you. Number one is financial services. So I only have the data for 1st to 16th of October. The data for 16th to 31st of October is not published at the time of recording video. This video I'm recording on 2nd of November. If the data comes out, I'll try to add that in the notes or in the description or in the pinned comments of this video. But overall, the first half of October, if you look at that, financial services, FIs sold 23,000 crores. This was the sector where the maximum selling happened. You might have seen banks under pressure and things like that. The second one was the oil, gas and consumable fuels. 12,000 crores of selling, and the third one was automobiles, auto components, 8,000 crores of selling. On auto sector, I had created a separate video. This video will give you lots of insights about how to go about looking at the auto sales, their inventories, their production, etc. And it will give you so much of insight if you ever want to invest in auto companies. Please go and watch that video. Humble request to you. Now in terms of the buying, chemical sector saw 552 crores of buying, and if you look at the last 8 weeks, that has been the trend that chemical sector FIs have been buying, albeit the buying scale is very low. The second sector is metal and mining. FIs have been buying in that sector as well. 222 crores of buying was done in the month of October, first half of the October, and the last 2 weeks of September as well, there was some buying. Now again, I am not saying that this trend will continue, but this is telling you where FIs are buying and selling, and it might give you a lot of clarity if you want to take any investment bets in any of these sectors. Before I move ahead, if you want practical insights coming from stock market, mutual funds, IPOs, etc. almost on a daily basis, then you can consider subscribing to my YouTube member community, because almost on a daily basis I post in-depth practical insights coming from the stock market. So you can consider joining my community. The feedback about this community has been excellent. You can simply go to my channel and press on the join button, or you can find the link in the description or in the pinned comments as well. With that, let's move to point number 3, which is out of the top Nifty 50 stocks, which were the losers, which were the gainers, which were the 52-week high, which were the 52-week low sort of a trigger, right? So for that, have a look at my screen and you will see that Dr. Reddy and Reliance saw a price coming down, mainly because they had corporate action. So Dr. Reddy had a stock split, so 1:5. Reliance had a bonus share of 1:1, and when these things happen, what happens? The price automatically comes down. But if you remove these corporate actions to one side, if you look at other stocks, you will see that IndusInd Bank dropped by almost 24% in the month of October. Bajaj Auto dropped by almost 18%. Tata Consumer dropped by almost 16%. So these were the 3 big droppers in the month of October if you just look at the month of October. Out of 50 stocks, almost 44 stocks gave negative returns in the month of October. But if you look at the remaining 6 stocks that gave positive returns, State Bank of India 3%, SDFC Life, Bharat Electronics Limited, ICICI Bank, Wipro and HDFC Bank, they brought some smile to the investors. Now comes that out of these Nifty 50 stocks by the end of October, which were the stocks that were trading at 52-week low, meaning if you look at the last 1 year of price history, by the end of October, which stocks were trading at a lowest price or closest price to the 52-week low point. So for that, one of the stock was Nestle India. The 52-week low price has been around 2216. The stock at the end of October was trading at around 2280 level. The second was IndusInd Bank. Again, 1018 was the 52-week low price. It was trading at around almost 1062 level. Moving on to which stocks were trading at 52-week high. So one of them was Wipro. Wipro, you can see here, it was 52-week high price was 579 and it was trading at by the end of October was 551 level. The next, HDFC Bank, trading almost at 52-week high, close to 52-week high level. Eicher Motors, another stock that was trading at 52-week high level. And the last one was Apollo Hospital, trading at 52-week high level by the end of October. The reason this data might help you is that at least you can go and do some research about these companies. Please do not take this as a buy or sell recommendation. I'm simply stating the facts that is out there in the public domain. Guys, so far if you're with me, then hit the like button. Let me know in the comments a simple thank you, and there is much more coming in this, so continue to watch it. Now coming to the point number 4, which is what happened to the broader market indexes. Okay, we know that Nifty 50 fell, but what happened to other market indexes? So have a look at my screen and you will see that all the broader indexes also fell in the month of October. You can see the data yourself here, but to me there are few surprises, right? First of all, Nifty Next 50, which tracks stock number 51 to 100, that fell the most, 9.29%. I had created a video on Nifty Next 50 long time back, I think 2 years back on my channel. There were few people who supported me on that video. There were few people who did not like that video because they were saying that Nifty Next 50 is a very, very good index. Please understand, when you're investing any index, you also need to look at not just the absolute returns. You need to look at the risk adjusted returns, because when the markets are falling, so which is the case right now, Nifty Next 50 dropped by 9.29%. I'm not saying this index is a bad index, but you have to really weigh out all the pros and cons before you invest, right? The second surprise for me was the Nifty small cap indexes. And you see here that if you look at the Nifty small cap 250 index, it dropped by only 3.58%. People have been speaking about small cap, there is a froth. Mid cap, there is a froth. Mid cap, yes, it did fall by almost 6.42%, mid cap 150, but small cap did surprise me, to be honest, because it was only down by 3.58%. Also look at Nifty micro cap 250, that only fell by 3.3%. I think these are some of the things that you can see. Even if the broader markets are falling, there are still indexes which are not falling at the same rate, right? And there are indexes which are falling more than the Nifty 50. This type of analysis will help you understand what happens in the broader market. Moving on to point number 5, which is what happened to the individual sectors. So have a look at my screen and you will see that Nifty Auto was the biggest loser in the month of October, fell by 12.99%, followed by Nifty Oil and Gas, 12.95% drawn again, right? Even consumer durables, 10.23% fall. If we look at Nifty FMCG, surprise to me, 9.65%. FMCG generally is considered a very defensive sector. So when overall market is falling, people go and park their money in FMCG companies, right? But here, this also fell by 9.65%. So which sector were not so impacted, or they were the saviors, or at least kept the smiles on? One of them is Nifty Healthcare Index, only fell by 2.20%. Nifty Pharma also 2.34%. Again, these are the things you need to look at in terms of where the money is moving. Nifty PSU Bank, if you see, only 0.46%, because anyways it is beaten down in the last few weeks. There is a very little scope now for it to go down further. That's why we see a very minimum fall in PSU banks. But overall, this is what the trend is, that the auto had lost the shine, as well as the oil and gas, but the pharma and healthcare remains steadily good. Let's move to point number 6, which is mutual funds now. Okay, have a look at my screen and you will see that if we look at the top performing mutual funds in the month of October, we will see that none of these are Indian mutual funds, meaning they're not invested in the Indian equities, right? And I'm only talking about the equity mutual funds here. So if you look at these funds, you will see that the top performing fund by returns in the month of October 2024 was Mirae Asset Hang Seng Tech ETF Fund of Fund. This fund is tracking the Hang Seng Index, which is a Chinese index. And many of you might already be aware of the narrative that was going on in the market, which was sell India, buy China narrative. I don't know how many of you are clear with what was this narrative of sell India and buy China. Let me know in the comments that if you're not clear. Maybe I'll create a video very quickly. It shouldn't take me really long to talk about that narrative. But coming back to mutual fund performances, the top 2 funds here, see, again, I'm not trying to promote anything here. Please understand the names that are there is mainly from a data and patterns perspective. These 2 mutual funds are invested in China and Taiwan, right? From an October perspective, good returns. And if you look at the September, actually, Hang Seng gave 33% return in 1 month because the Chinese market took off all of a sudden, right? Now, coming back to the global funds as well, if you see here, you see FANG, for example, you see S&P 500 top 50 ETF, NASDAQ, all these were positive returns in the month of October, right? Invesco Global Consumer Trends Fund of Fund, which I'm not sure which fund is that, but here NASDAQ 100 ETF again gave some positive returns. So these were the global funds invested in the global markets that gave positive returns in the month of October. And that brings me to a very important point, that if you're a mutual fund investor, do consider diversifying some of your investments, again 2%, 5%, whatever makes sense for you, into the global mutual funds that are investing in the global equities. Now, in terms of the worst performing mutual funds, if you look at my data, I think across the board, if you look at the large cap, small cap, mid cap, everywhere the drawdown was. But if you look at the maximum losses, if you look at the auto mutual funds, which are the sectoral mutual funds, right? Here, first 2 have given 13%, 12% negative returns, right? Again, SBI also gave 12% negative returns. But if you look at the second aspect, which is the transportation and logistics, again, the third sectoral mutual fund, Aditya Birla, UTI, SDFC, all down. Quant PSU fund, again, a thematic mutual fund. So important point to note here is that whenever you're investing in sectoral and thematic mutual funds, you really need to be clear when to take entry, when to take exit point, because sectors and themes, they go in cycles more often than not, right? The cycles could be 4 months, they could be 4 years, right? So you really need to understand when to take entry, when to take exit. And if you don't understand that game, just keep away from sectoral and thematic mutual funds is what I would say. Small cap, mid cap, there is a whole lot of universe open for mutual fund investors. Moving on to point number 7, which is NFOs, new fund offers in the mutual fund space. Important for you to go through what's happening in the new fund offers, because it will give you very good insights. So for example, here in the month of October, these NFOs got closed. So for example, here small cap fund came, multi cap fund came, large and mid cap fund came, and then SBI Nifty India Consumption Index Fund came. Now, when you're going through this data, you need to have a natural curiosity. What is this Consumption Index Fund? I need to go and learn about it. And that's where if you continuously go and learn about new things, it will increase your knowledge and it will give you opportunities whenever you are investing your money, right? So for example, Consumption Index came here, Digital India Fund came. Now, what does Digital India Fund mean? Can you go and explore about it? Of course, it will give you some new learnings, right? Again, so these funds came here. Grow Gold ETF Fund of Fund came. I created a video on gold ETFs as well, right? If you don't understand how gold ETFs work, please go and watch that video. It will help you a lot. And if you're not yet a subscriber, what are you waiting for? Please hit the subscribe button. You're going to learn a lot with these videos. These are absolutely free videos. Watch it in your free times. Share it with your friends and family and share the knowledge, because that's how we can together grow. Now, coming back to the NFOs that are still open as of 2nd of November, you can see on my screen, Motilal Oswal has got 4 NFOs that are open. And interestingly here, you see that they have also come up with the consumption index. So the point here is that if many AMCs are launching a particular mutual fund, coming up with an NFO, then there may be some underlying demand for that particular area, sector or theme, maybe worth investing, worth learning about it, right? Again, Zerodha, for example, they came with a gold ETF fund of fund. I know that there was a lot of demand in terms of the gold, people wanting to invest in gold ETFs, right? So you can see that there is a lot of demand for gold. So these NFOs will help you go and explore new areas, and it will help you increase your knowledge, and whenever time comes, you take your bets. Okay, let's move from this Gyan topic now and move to IPOs now. Point number 8 here is, how did the main board IPOs did in the month of October? Have a look at my screen and you will see out of 7 IPOs that came in the month of October, 3 of them gave negative listing day gains. As you can see on my screen, Deepak Builders was the biggest loser there, 20.25% losses on the listing day. But if you look at the remaining ones, positive ones, if you see KRN Heat Exchanger gave 117% listing day gains, followed by Vari Energies Limited 55%, and then Diffusion Engineers Limited 17%. Garuda gave 12.45%. Let me know in the comments if you applied for any of these IPOs and if you managed to get any of these, and what are you planning to do? Are you planning to hold it for long term or not? Let me know in the comments. It will be interesting for people to share their views and ideas so that you can understand the perspective. Let's move to next point, which is point number 9, which are the upcoming IPOs. So in the month of November, here are the IPOs as of 2nd of November that has been announced. Number 1 is Swiggy IPO. That is opening from November 6 to November 8. The price band has been decided between 371 to 390 per share. The fresh equity sale is 4499 crore. OFS is only 17.5 crores. The valuation seems to be 11.3 billion US dollars. Earlier target was $15 billion. What are they going to do with this money? They are going to invest in its material subsidiary called Scootsie, investment in technology, brand marketing and business promotions. The next one is Acme Solar Holding IPO. This is an Indian electricity producer using the solar renewable sources. The IPO starts on November 5 and goes up until 8th of November. Fresh equity is around 2395 crores and there is a OFS as well, which is 505 crores. The funds will be used to prepay certain outstanding borrowings, which is excellent. The third IPO that is coming up is Sagility India IPO, which is going to be in the band of 28 to 30 rupees, opening on November 5. It's a purely offer for sale, which is 70.22 crores. This company is mainly into healthcare focused service provider. I think they have clients in the US. Original IPO size was 98.44, which has been now reduced to 70.22 crores. Last but not the least, Niva Bupa Healthcare IPO. Again, opening on 7th of November, open up until 11th of November. It is a IPO which is fresh equity sale of 800 crores, OFS of 1400 crores. Of course, we all know what Niva Bupa does. They are into healthcare. They are an insurance company. So these are the 4 IPOs I know as of 2nd of November. Many more might get announced. I do not know. But hopefully that has given you some good information to go and do some research about these IPOs. So in this video, totally I've covered 9 points, giving you a variety of updates and trends that has happened in the month of October. Please let me know what other topics and trends you would like me to add in these videos, whether this video helped you or not, getting you a lot of information in one single video. Let me know that. And also, if you want to get daily insightful updates, you can consider joining my YouTube member community because I post almost on a daily basis. With that, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, keep rocking.